Hi guys, James O'Brien took a call from a man who's perhaps a perfect example of what's wrong with politics at the moment. He voted for Brexit and he voted for Conservatives all his life. Okay, now that's bad enough. However, he's now upset with Labour and the Tories and believes that the latter are a shambles. Joshua tried here to explain his switch away from the Conservatives to Reform UK, but the reasons he gave fell apart pretty quickly. This is clearly somebody who bases their vote not on policies but on personalities, it seems. And we know where that leads. Have a listen.
Because you say, why did the Conservatives lose? And it was because the Conservatives were doing absolute shambles. And I voted Conservatives all my life.
Right. So at what point did they lose you?
Oh, boy. Like, you're the one that's come on today and then talk about Liz Truss and talk about, what they did in COVID and all the rest of it.
But we're talking about you now. So you voted Conservative all your life. At some point in the last 5 years, you felt that was absolutely not something you'd ever be able to do again. Let's try and work out when that point was.
Well, the last year, it was a combination of points. It was probably, COVID, and then. What about
COVID? Was it
the fact that he was saying one thing and doing the opposite?
You mean the parties?
The scandals, everything. Like the day-to-day news, the that the common man was being fed.
So we're back to Johnson then. So Johnson for you was the deal breaker, even though you voted for him in 2019.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to. I voted Brexit as well, and I thought we was going to get change, and we didn't. We didn't get any change, and it was.
So what did you do? What did you do in 2019? Did you sort of double down? You know, when people are persuaded to hand over their life savings to a scammer on the internet, and then what I never knew, Joshua, was that if the scammer goes back and says, "Oh, just give me the deeds to your house, and we'll finally free up that money." What did you think? I mean, what did you think Johnson was going to do in 2019?
I believed him. I believed all the rubbish basically that he said us. Then I thought, if this is the chance to sort of get what I want, then maybe I'll vote and give him a chance. And it was, they proved us wrong. But then the thing is, it was the fact that I don't hate Labour. And if I thought Labour was going to do all this good, then I would have voted for Labour. But I knew what was going to happen. And he's come in and proved the point that they're not who they say they are. And how does it make you feel that the only reason why Labour really are in power is because of the Reform Party? Who took all them votes?
Oh Lord! So you're still waiting for Brexit to go right?
I believe if there's any man that could do it, it would be Farage.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no! So you voted for a lying charlatan in 2019, and this lying charlatan was cheered on by Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage said, look, this is, I'm going to step aside and make sure Boris Johnson gets his 80-seat majority or as big a majority as possible so he can get Brexit over the line. Then Boris Johnson didn't get Brexit over the line or didn't get Brexit done or whatever the hell that was supposed to mean. And now you're saying, now I'm going to vote for the guy who agreed with Boris Johnson. Like, you were lied to in 2016. You were lied to in 2019 by pretty much the same people. And now you're saying, well, I'm actually going to jettison Boris Johnson and the Tories, and I'm going to throw my support behind Nigel Farage. Because Farage is actually going to be honest. He wasn't honest in 2016. He wasn't honest in 2019. He wasn't honest in 2024. But I'm going to vote for him anyway. Like, what has changed about Nigel Farage? See, this is where I come back to this point I mentioned at the beginning. People are voting not for policies, but for personalities. I've said before, Boris Johnson got a huge amount of support in 2019 because he was going to ruffle a few feathers. He was going to shake things up. He was going to be a bit of a clown. And people actually thought that would be a good idea. Let's put a clown in charge of the country. What's the worst that could happen? And then the pandemic arrived. And then Brexit didn't get done or got done or whatever happened with Brexit. So the obvious approach to this after would be, well, let's get rid of clowns. And instead this voter, Joshua, thinks, no, let's double down. Let's go with somebody even more clownish than Boris Johnson. Let's go with somebody who has lied to us on every occasion, who's very good at lying, I might add, who's good at weaving lies and truth together and presenting it as a wonderful ensemble. But at what stage will people realize that these people, the politicians, the Boris Johnsons of this world, the Nigel Farages of this world, are just using them? Look at Clacton. Farage has spent more time kissing Donald Trump's behind than he has listening to his constituents in Clacton. Although he said from day one, I'm going to represent Clacton. He's there to represent himself. He's using voters like Joshua to improve his own standing, to improve his own position. And it's sad. At what stage will people realize, actually, I should stop listening to the liars and charlatans? I should actually think about things for myself. Stop listening to promises of sunlit uplands. Stop listening to everything will be wonderful. And actually sit down and think about it for more than 5 seconds. Our cult leaders like Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage, are they there to improve things for British people, or are they there just to feather their own nest or to improve their own situation politically? Are there still people out there who think that Nigel Farage is an honest broker? Does anyone still think that Boris Johnson is not, how can I say, in a difficult relationship with the truth? It's sad. And unfortunately, as long as people like Joshua continue to vote and vote for charlatans, those charlatans will continue down the road to ruin, but not for themselves, but the road of ruin for Britain. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.